Hello again lads, it's the Celestic Warrior here, and welcome to my first solo countdown of 2013. And about time too. Let's just get straight to the point. This list is to pay tribute to the 3DS. Well, to be more specific, the 3DS games that I don't have that I want the most because I'm just a whiny little brat like that. The system started off as an absolute joke and now has the highest amount of my most wanted games. Yes, more so than the PS2. In any case, before I begin, here are the games that I had when I made this list, and here are some honourable mentions, just to avoid the likes of where's Fire Emblem Awakening? Now keep in mind, an entry on this list wasn't out when I completed editing the segment, but it came out after I completed doing this list. Anyways, here's my top 10 most wanted 3DS games. Enjoy! Not exactly that you have to. Kicking off this list is a game that, to be honest, I am a bit on the fence about. It's Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. And if you're wondering why I'm a bit on the fence about this game, is, well, because I actually haven't played a Kingdom Hearts game before. Yeah, I know, I'm missing out. A lot. I've actually been meaning to get into the series for some time now, and this game is easily the most accessible one I can find. And I am aware the series does have a very convoluted story, but I don't really care about that. I hear it focuses more on gameplay anyways, and the gameplay does interest me. It didn't really do so well in the demo, but hey, the demo does not do the full game justice. It combines hack and slash elements with RPG elements with regards to the combat deck. If there's one thing I did enjoy in the demo though, it's the flow motion combat. It really spiced things up a bit and made me just go all like, I'ma bounce off this wall and fucking skewer ya! Shabow! Yeah, it felt pretty good to say the least. The graphics are also another selling point. I mean, wow, it looks as good as Kingdom Hearts 2, which is saying quite a lot. I haven't heard much about the soundtrack, so I won't say anything there. And I am a bit skeptical of the drop system, as you're on a time limit until the game automatically switches between Sora and Riku. I guess it's something I'll just have to get used to. There's not really a whole lot more I can say about this game, so let's just move on. I bet that Sonic Lost World is getting decent praise from some, and a ton of bashing from the classic Sonic fanboys. Go figure. I think Sonic Lost World looks like a pretty good addition to the Sonic franchise. What amazes me the most so far is that this is the handheld version of the game. Yes, the handheld. It looks exactly like the Wii U version, which is something I feel Sonic Generations 3DS should have done. I mean, the special stages bloody well show that it was capable of doing so. Whatever. As for the gameplay, it looks different to the other Sonic games. And it's for the better if you ask me. Okay, yeah, I'm aware that they slowed down Sonic a bit for this game, but they trade a small bit of his speed for a better emphasis on platforming and puzzle solving. This may turn a few off, but I do like some little tweaks in the gameplay. I mean, at least he's not as slow as he was in Sonic 06 or Sonic Labyrinth, right? The levels seem like they'll be much more open in this game, so that's good. It doesn't make it like he's running on a track the whole time, even though technically he is. It just gets rid of the illusion. Also, one thing I'm happy about is that the Wisps are back, and they added in new ones which seem like they'll be a lot of fun to use. Either way, while there isn't really too much more I can say about this game, it looks pretty promising. Hopefully this game has taken a risk that won't come back to bite Sega in the ass later on. I've been debating about whether I should get the Wii version or the 3DS version of Donkey Kong Country Returns. Well, now that my Wii refuses to read my game discs, I think it's safe to say that I'll go with this version of the game. I haven't actually played a Donkey Kong Country game before, with the exception of playing a bit of the original on an emulator, but this game looks like a ton of fun. The stages look hectic, there's lots going on, and it all just looks like a total blast to play. Graphically, it's on par with the Wii version, which is very impressive. And there's also an easy mode, so that'd mean it'd be a good idea for me to pick this version of the game up, simply to get into the Donkey Kong Country series easier. What also interests me is the fact that you don't have to shake the Wii remote like a total maniac just to roll and stuff like that, which means it could feel more natural, or not, I don't know.
Why push a button when you can— Holy shit!
Yeah, that joke has been overused to death. But anyways, as a whole, seeing as I am a total sucker for a good 2D platformer, and this game looks like a really good one, I'm gonna have to see about getting this game at some point. Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds. Okay, this is a game that I have absolutely no clue as to why I'm looking forward to it. Because I'm not really much of a Zelda fan, as I've only played 3 games in the series. Ah, come on! It's not like I'm the only non-Zelda fan out there, lads. Honestly. So, where was I? Ah, yeah. Link Between Worlds looks like a pretty fun game, going back to the overhead style of gameplay and taking place in the same world as Link to the Past. So basically, it's actually a sequel? Even bringing the Dark World back into the mix. Speaking of worlds, this game will be much more non-linear than other Zelda games, as you'll be able to complete the dungeons in any order you choose. If you know me, you'll know that I'm not really too fond of non-linearity. But I think given the style of Zelda games, this seems like something I would actually enjoy. You can also rent items as well as buy them, which is something that a lot of people seem to be pretty excited about. Lastly, there's the main mechanic. Link can now turn into a drawing on the wall to get around certain areas. This will seem to be a key aspect in finding secrets and solving puzzles. This is a pretty interesting mechanic at least. So as a whole, I'm not a true Zelda fan, but this game may or may not change that. Wait. Oh no. He's back. I sensed about 500,000 childhood nightmares coming back to life. Oh god. Well, what do you know? Another game that I want that's part of a series I've never actually gotten into, but heard about recently. This time, Etrian Odyssey IV. Out of all the games on the 3DS that I want, this is probably the most unique. And I have Lord Rotos to thank for helping me find out about it. Psh! That was a shout out! What makes Etrian Odyssey so unique compared to the other games on the list is the fact that its gameplay, aside from turn-based combat, is focused around first-person dungeon crawling and map drawing. Before playing the demo, I was thinking to myself, who the hell would like this? After the demo, did I still have that thought?
Hell no!
Nailed it. I actually found it to be pretty enjoyable, but I also found it to be pretty difficult, even in casual mode. But hey, this is a game made by Atlas, it's to be expected. As for what I've heard from the soundtrack, it's absolutely amazing. The dungeon themes immersed me into the game, and the battle theme, which you're listening to right now, got me ready to kick some ass. It's also nice that you can make up your team out of numerous character classes right from the start. So overall, I seem to be going on a bit of a flippin' RPG frenzy here, so I'm gonna have to get the game as soon as I can. Or wait for a price drop. Whichever's most important. I'm gonna get straight to the point. It's Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies. As you probably guessed, this is another game that's part of a series I never actually got into. I played the demo, blah blah blah, you know the rest. Do I really need to say more? Well, actually I need to explain why this game's on the list. So I'll just do that. This game seems like a huge leap for the Phoenix Wright series, such as being the first to use 3D graphics, which look brilliant, the first to have anime cutscenes and voice acting, which again look and sound absolutely brilliant. I wasn't entirely sure if this game would be my cup of tea at first, to be honest, but I will say that the moment those court doors opened in the demo, I actually felt the stress that Phoenix himself was feeling, since he felt like a newbie again. Trying to spot controversies and witnesses' testimonies using evidence was actually pretty exciting in a way. Then you got Athena Sykes, Phoenix's new companion, who can actually listen to witnesses' emotions during testimonies, meaning at some points you have to try and spot unexpected emotions to bring out the full thing. And of course, shouting OBJECTION! Into the mic felt really good as well. Looking at expressions on characters' faces when something went right or wrong for them, it was all very amusing. This whole game is just looking to be brilliant, and I'm definitely looking forward to its release. Wait, download only? Seriously, Capcom! Ugh, looks like I'm going to need to invest in a new SD card after all. Next! Basically, Monster Hunter 4. Okay, this game just looks plain awesome. In a nutshell, there's more monsters, more weapons, and it also brings some new elements of gameplay in. It looks like this game will be much more of an open world type of Monster Hunter, with some elements of platforming and stealth. I look forward to see how that plays out in the combat. You also have the ability to grab onto monsters and continually damage them, just like in Smash Brothers. I could easily show another reason why you should never mess with an Irishman like how Stelios tells you, but I think I'll pass this time. I don't want to be too brutal this time. I mean, look at that! That's just cruelty! Also, one thing I have to say is that a lot of the new monsters look really cool. However, knowing how to take these things down will be a completely different story. Either way, this is looking to be a really fun game. If this game doesn't get localized, I will lose my remaining faith in Capcom. Though I haven't played many of their games. I mean, Monster Hunter is looking to be their best franchise at the moment. Don't let us down here! Also, is it just me, or does this game seriously have something against cats? To this day, I still haven't played a single Mario & Luigi RPG. Don't jump on me for this again, please, Logan. But Mario & Luigi Dream Team, Dream Team Brothers, seem to be my best chance to get into the series. The gameplay is what interests me most about this game. A mix of platforming, puzzle solving, and a different take on RPG combat, where you have to time your attacks and dodges to take on enemies easier. Don't even get me started on the giant Luigi battles, because those look brilliant. Speaking of which, since this is the year of Luigi, this game freaking spoils Luigi rotten. The dream world takes place in Luigi's dreams, a lot of Mario's moves are powered by Luigi, and the previously mentioned giant Luigi battles. Like, wow. However, I will say I like how the dream world is in a 2D perspective, and it looks like it got pretty creative with the puzzles. From what I hear, this game isn't exactly as funny as the other Mario & Luigi games, but I hear it's still funny enough. But another thing is the soundtrack. Again, from what I've heard, it's brilliant. But then again, it is composed by Yoko Shimomura, the same person who composed the Kingdom Hearts soundtrack and some of Xenoblade Chronicles soundtrack. Either way, this is certainly one of my most wanted 3DS games. But there's still 2 to go. Okay, you're probably looking at the title of the game, and you're probably like, what? Then you're looking at the box art, and it's like, what the hell is this thing? Basically, Bravely Default Flying Fairy. Okay, aside from the, questionable title, I have to say that Bravely Default Flying Fairy is an absolute must-buy for me. Why? Well, for plenty of reasons. Let's start off with the gameplay. Traditional turn-based RPG combat, enemies attack you in real time, venturing the world in an overhead style. What does it remind you of? Well, if you don't know, supposedly this game is supposed to be a spiritual sequel to the classic Final Fantasy games. And while I haven't played any of them, with the exception of trying out 6 on an emulator, I hear they are brilliant, and you know that I love me a good turn-based RPG. As for the graphics, this game's graphics actually look very smooth and polished off. And it has chibi-style characters. Not many people like this type of art style, but I find it pretty charming, and it looks like it'll fit rather nicely. Next up is the soundtrack. I've heard a ton of songs from this game, and holy crap. This soundtrack is absolutely incredible. My intro theme? Yeah, take a guess. This game came out in Japan in 2012. However, it's set to be localized in 2014. And sometime this year for Europe. Finally, we get a JRPG before America does. Either way, this is easily one of my most wanted games of 2013. But obviously not quite as much as number 1. Okay, I'll honestly be surprised at anyone who didn't see this one coming. Well, of course Pokemon X is number 1, because I'm just not one of those lucky peoples who got it at launch or live close to a GameStop. How's that? Either way, there are so many things about this game that make me want it, but at the same time, I'm skeptical, because Black 2 was very disappointing to me. Dare I say it's in my top 5 Gabeels. Cut me up again and I swear to God! Thank you! God almighty. Moving on. The Gen 1ers can whine all they like, but this game is easily the biggest step up for the series. Gone are the sprites and replaced with gorgeous 3D graphics with character and Pokemon models which look absolutely astounding. I'm absolutely gobsmacked by how good this game looks. The roster introduced is actually the smallest of all generations, only being about 68 Pokemon. But the Pokemon in this generation, however, have pretty simple yet cool designs, especially in the cases of Xerneas, Pyroar, and Noivern. Speaking of new Pokemon, there's also the Fairy type, which I'm glad they introduced. Why? because Dragon will no longer be a total pain in the arse to encounter. Also introducing Pokemon Ami, which actually lets you take care of your Pokemon, and also introduces a minigame that makes EV training fun. Well, it looks fun anyways. Then of course there's the main aspect, Mega Evolutions. Plain and simple, I can't say much except I can't wait to see how these things will be used in competitive play. Not to mention, a lot of them look really cool. Mega Charizard X is actually the sole reason I'm getting this version of the game. That, and I kind of prefer Xerneas over Yveltal. Siri! The soundtrack is something that's debated amongst fans, but I for one think it sounds brilliant. And screw what people think, I love the Champion theme, and the Existence Trios theme, as some call them anyways, is my favourite legendary battle theme. Last but not least, there's character customization. Game Freak, thank you so much! In short, this is my most wanted 3DS game, as I'm hoping it brings back the Pokemon fan in me, and because it introduces so many new things to the series, it's downright unreal. I'm the Celestic Warrior, but did you seriously have to bring algebra into the titles of the games, Game Freak?